Hello, everybody. My name is Matt Gilmore, and this is Peg. Many of you have met her. Now, today you see Peg. She doesn't have her clothes on, and that's because today we're doing a quick video on how to secure your stuffy. When I watch videos and I read stories from hikers, especially on the PCT from this year, I have read several stories people who have lost their stuffies while on the Pacific Crest Trail. Uh, and as I have tried to follow their stories and the stories of other people with stuffies, one of the things that I noticed was a lack of security for the stuffy involved. And so it has prompted me to take measures to secure Peg for her hike for upcoming hiking events, including when we actually get to hike on the Pacific Crest Trail in 2020. But I want to share this video with you on how we do things, which helps us in our quest to being a secure bear. As you can tell, Peg is wearing a harness. We're going to start there. This is a harness for a cat. Now, Peg's a big bear. She weighs almost a pound. She's a big stuffy. Uh, and so, uh, I just didn't want to put a collar on her or just a rope or a lashing. I wanted to have something that was going to be secure and solid that could distribute the balance of the load. And so that's part of what she does here. I'm going to turn her around. This is the back side. You can see where the straps come down like this, and they come up underneath her, and they lock together. And if you notice, I also have a carabiner that I lock into her harness, so that way there's no wear and tear that comes to the harness itself. But when she moves, because trust me, she moves a lot, and so I wanted to prevent wear and tear on a harness that could cause her to become disconnected. Okay. Now I want to, okay. So what we do is what I do for my daily travels because Peg goes with all of you know Peg goes with me everywhere, and so I created this. What I did here was this is nothing more than a carrying strap for a weed eater. I took a small carabiner like this one, and I put the hooks onto that, and it hooks onto Peg just like that. So Peg can be picked up and carried like this, and she's fully supported just like that. And you notice I have a second carabiner attached to the strap. I use this carabiner for if I have her in a shopping cart or if I have her in another, usually shopping cart, or if I have to attach her to my purse. I carry a purse, guys. It's okay. This allows me to have an extra connection with her. And it's just, there's a redundancy in safety. If any of you know anything about rock climbing or rope work, there's redundancy, there's safety and redundancy. That's what I want to say. So you can never be too safe. Now, this carabiner doesn't just lock onto this strap. I have another carabiner on the back of my backpack, and I take her to church. And so what we do is we just actually attach her to the back of the backpack here, and she's always secured to the backpack. Now, what we also have is when she's out backpacking with me, is we carry another one. I call it tethering, and it's a common language for people who use ropes. And this here is roughly a 15-foot paracord. As you can see, there's a lot of paracord there. And how this works is that the bigger carabiner will attach to the backpack. Okay, right. This attached to the backpack, and this will attach to the backpack. The smaller carabiner will also attach to Peg like this. So that way, when I'm hiking, I do this all the time. When I'm hiking, I can unlock Peg from the backpack and pull her away This strap is still connected to the backpack, but I have a 15-foot tether so I can move her. I can do selfies. I can sit her down. And for any reason, if I pick up that backpack or I move that backpack, Peg's not going to get left behind. Peg is going to be tethered to that backpack, and she will go with the backpack. The other thing that I tend to do with her is and we all like to do them. I mean, I'm sure you do too. Is we like to do selfies with our stuffies uh, out there in the backcountry. When I do my PCT hike in 2020, I will be doing a lot of selfies. Now again, the question comes back to security, and so this same tethering system, when it's not on the backpack, you can tether to yourself. Gives you 15 feet of cord to work with. And so in that case, if Peg does decide to do something silly like try to jump off of a rock or jump out of a tree or jump off of a bridge, she's not going to get lost because the 15-foot tether will catch her and we can get her back in. So I just wanted to it's just a short video. I wanted to demonstrate to you what tethering is for Peg. You can see that we have a nice long one. Now, I want to share something about tethering. Um, Let me get Peg turned around here for y'all. Um, there's an important thing about tethering with your stuffy, and this is something that I learned when learning how to handle a firearm, and that is practice makes perfect. I've learned that when handling a firearm. I've learned that when learning how to do artwork. I've learned that when I was driving a school bus for a living, and that was habits or habit forming habits, or I call it practice, 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 practice. Practice makes perfect. If you want to go hiking with your stuff, and we all do, learn to have repetitive habits with your bear or your stuffy or whatever it is that you're taking along. Um, I take Peg on excursions every day. We go shopping, we go to the library, we go hiking, we go camping, um, and we go to church. We're redundantly everywhere. And so by doing that, I created a habit that I think is very important, and that is that I'm always in the habit of tethering her to stuff. Um, like I put her on the windshield of the car, and I take this black strap and I put it over the mirror, and then I get in. One because I sit on her sometimes. I don't like that, and sometimes once you get her in the car, you're fighting with her for the seat belt and everything else. So by setting her outside, she's safe outside. She's still tethered to the car. And once you get in, I mean, she's right in your front windshield. How are you going to miss her not being on the windshield? And then I pull her in. What that does is it teaches me the automatic habit of securing and recovery, secure and recover. And if you get into the habit of securing and recovering, recovery, then handling your stuffy will become a second nature to you. And when it becomes a second nature to you, you don't think about handling your stuffy as much. You just do it. And oftentimes, just doing it as a habit, as a natural habit, can reduce your chances of leaving your stuffy behind. And these are the things that I came up with, and I just want to reiterate. I do these things. I mean, I even attach her to the 15-foot tether, and I actually take her out away from the car. We went out the other night to watch the Polaris meteor shower here in the Midwest, and I took my 15-foot tether. I attached the big end to the steering wheel of the car. I attached the red end, which is attached to Peg, and I pulled her out away from the car, and we actually sat in a lawn chair out on the side of the road, and we tried to watch for meteor showers. It allowed her to get farther away from the car, but it also allowed me to know that she is safe. And if we know we get tired at 1 o'clock in the morning watching meteor showers, you get tired. but it teaches you to have the habit of securing your stuffy, or in my case, peg, to an object that you are required to have in order to move forward. Like I usually give her the keys to the car. I take the keys to the car, which I use carabiners for everything. I take a carabiner just like this, and I put the keys to her. So that means that it's almost impossible for me to leave her behind, because if she's got the keys to the car, I got to have her drive the car. And so, so there you go. Uh, I know this is kind of long, but I did want to share that with you. And that's basic tethering. So that peg wears. Another thing that and another thing I want to bring up while we're here is clothing. Stuffies, their fur uh, does not handle well with weather. It does not handle well with dirt, and it does not handle well when they are active all the time. So I encourage you. I mean, if you have a stuffy, and Peg's a pretty important teddy bear for my life. Uh, there's a long story that goes behind it. I'll make another video about that. But Peg does wear a hat. Peg does wear a blouse. She does have a skirt. And these coverings is to help her look nice, especially when she goes to church, because Peg does go to church. But it also helps Peg to be protected as well. So protecting your stuffy is very, very important. Another thing for protecting your stuffy that I found important, I mean, you don't have to do this. This is just me. But I also bought Peg a collar. Now, the reason why I bought Peg a collar is because I want her head to stay stiff. Because when you're out 2,600 miles of hiking, there's a lot of movement in there, and that includes the head and the other body parts. And so I bought her a collar because her head tended to bounce. And I bought her the collar so that way her head will stay stable. Uh, I did actually Peg is a Build-A-Bear workshop bear, so I actually ended up taking Peg to a Build-A-Bear workshop and having her basically filled in with more fiber fill that they put in them to toughen her up, so that way she has less movement, so she doesn't look like a bobblehead doll that sits in your car. Um, but anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. And one other thing about, you know, including coverings and stuff like that. Um, when you clean your stuffies, I don't wash them in a washing machine if you can get away with it. This uh, uh, It's a little expensive, but I bought a custom design bottle of cleaner for stuffies. So that way, when Peg gets dirty, when I clean her, she's being cleaned with the right stuff. This is stuff you spray on the fur and you wipe it off, and that's how you clean them. And that's how we get Peg cleaned up. Take care of her fur. So, and brushing, she's got her own brush, so that way we can brush her out when she's been on the trail. So when you're on the trail, don't forget you got to take care of your stuffy, or your stuff is going to fall apart quicker. And these are things that I've learned by reading the stories of hikers. These are the things that I've learned asking questions at Build-A-Bear Workshop, and these are things that I've learned by paying attention to hiker pictures and videos uh, who carry stuffies. Listen, y'all ain't doing anything bad. You take your stuffy, do your thing with your stuffy. It's okay. I'm not saying you're doing anything bad. This video is an information video of how I do things, because Peg here has been in the family for a very long time, and she's very important to me. And she has a big mission for my life, and I want to make sure that she is very well taken care of. And these are the steps that I take to take care of her. Um, so I hope this video is very informative for you. Who knows? Maybe it's a boring video. Probably is. But at least there's some information there that could help you uh, with your stuffy, whether you go hiking or not. Anyways, this is Matt, and we'll see you on trail.